Hey, so as a working mum, the biggest thing you're going to have to start thinking about is childcare. There are so many options out there, and you can do it as early as you want. We actually hired our nanny, I think in the June for October, so don't leave it to the last minute. Get it organised early because you don't want it to affect the end of your maternity leave. So there's sort of three main options: nursery, childminder and nanny. And I've done a childminder for the first baby and a nanny the second time round when I had two kids. I never really went with nursery because for the kind of job I have with a commute into London, I work at an ad agency and I travel sometimes, the hours can be a bit unpredictable. Nursery was just too strict for me in terms of, like, if you're 5 minutes late, you've got to pay extra, all that stress and hassle. And I also liked to know the people, and I heard about nursery, there's sometimes a churn, and I just needed that stability. That childcare person was as much there for me as my child. I clung to them for dear life at some point just to kind of keep me going. A childminder was brilliant. We found a local childminder by advertising both times on childcare.co.uk. She approached us. I put an ad up rather than spending hours and hours trawling through people. I just put an ad of what I was prepared to pay and what I wanted, and then let people come to me because I found it much easier and much less emotionally draining, because it's such an emotional thing having to look for a nanny or something. It is really, really emotionally draining. Childminders are perfect because they're self-employed and the baby goes to their house. So if they're in walking distance sort of on your way to work, you can drop off, leave your house in total chaos. I've turned up with him in his pajamas, before, and they're there at home. So she was always like, we're never closed, just kind of, of course we would give her a bit of overtime, but it was such a lovely, homely environment. And her being a mum herself just was so useful to me because she was like an expert in potty training. She'd done it so many times with kids she'd looked after, and just little things like that. And she was super duper kind. You get a report every single day about what they've done, and they will be Ofsted registered, so you can read the Ofsted report and know that their home is a safe environment. And just go with your instincts when you're choosing somebody. Pick somebody who you really like and who interacts well with your child. I met her first by herself and second time then with Freddie. And I loved the way that she was with him. I could tell she totally got his personality. He's spirited, he jumps off everything, and she had a hand there before everything happened, and I was like, perfect. So second time around, unfortunately, that childminder doesn't do it anymore. We miss you. And we decided to have a nanny at our house because I didn't want to be going and collecting from somewhere and then walking home again. I just wanted to walk in the front door. And with two of them, I also wanted them to have had their dinner at home and be together as much as possible. And I know it was difficult with the childminder to do a school pickup and all these other bits and bobs. So we did the exact same hiring process and met a wonderful nanny. Good questions to ask are things like, what would you do on a day-to-day basis? What activities do you like doing? What would you feed a child of my age group? It's a really interesting one because it shows their kind of childcare knowledge. And I was looking for somebody who really enjoyed arts and crafts, because my kids do, and you'll be bored stiff if you don't. And we really liked her. And I also wanted somebody who was a really good cook, because I'm so unconfident in cooking, and she's a fantastic cook. She's really into nutrition and knows a lot about that. So she does our weekly meal plans, cooks a meal for the boys, which is then left on the side for us when we get home. It's like hallelujah, honestly, it's amazing. And of course, then she's also flexible. We do all of her sort of contract through Nanny Tax, which is an online service, and they'll do payroll and sort all of that out for you, holiday pay. With a nanny, you are the employee, so they do get holiday pay, sick pay, etc. And they get paid more in the holidays, whereas a childminder is self-employed, so you don't have to pay them during holidays, which is a lot more cost effective, of course. So yeah, there are some great options out there. I'd love to know what you've chosen. I hope you found this useful. I can chat more about one or the other, and maybe pop some comments below to help other mums who are trying to look for childcare. If you found this useful, give it a like and subscribe to hear more of me chatting about motherhood.